You are listening to the Horse Radio Network, part of the Equine Network family.
What a beautiful day for horses in the morning.
You are listening to the number one horse podcast in the world. Here's your entertaining look at the horse world and the people in it.
Well, good morning, everybody. I am Glenn the Geek in Ocala, Florida.
And I'm Jamie Jennings, and I'm in Norman, Oklahoma. You're listening to Horses in the Morning on the Horse Radio Network for Wednesday, September 4th, episode 3512. Good morning, horse people.
Ah, Wednesday, the day we cover Glenn's favorite topic, horse health. And Jamie makes you feel better about yourself with the latest weird news from around the world. Let's go! Happy Wednesday!
Actually, I think I arranged that we don't even have to do horse health today. I'm getting a break from the gory, gross horse health stuff.
What? I like the horse health. I like grossing you out, making you uncomfortable.
Oh, the auditors are doing plenty of that this week in the auditor room, that's for sure. What happened to my rule about not posting gory pictures, Jamie?
I don't know what you're talking about, Glenn.
Now other people are doing it again, and I'm going to have to crack down. Alexandra is going to join us today with an update on the one-year anniversary of MyNewHorse.com. Jamie and Anna give us the equestrian version of German versus English with some equestrian word. I love those, by the way, when I see the short videos with them.
Have you seen the videos of the people that did the German words? That's like a girl who is doing an English, guy doing, Italian, and then German is after that, and it just goes to show you how aggressive
it is.
German words are at times, and then some are very similar. But so we're highlighting some of the more interesting words that equestrians may use every day. And don't ask me to repeat them. Good God.
No, and I have a comment after I put it together. If you send it over, I have a comment after, and I want to see if you find it true too about the German translations of those words. And it's not really bad ads day. It is Weird News Day. So that is coming up. Do you have weird news?
I do. And I must just vent for a second. I love it when you guys send me inappropriate weird news. But really, how many dead body stories are you guys going to send me in one day? I can't use the dead people stories, and I don't even like those. Ugh, oh, God. There's two stories.
Yeah, we don't do dead people stories in weird news. So.
I know the one time I told the story about the guy jumping out of the window, you were like, no more dead people stories. But these people, to be fair, were already dead when they were found. But I'm not doing those stories, you guys. You're weird. You're all weird.
Well, our thoughts and prayers are out with Liz Holiday. It's been since last Friday then we were on the show, so this happened over the weekend. Liz was one of our first guests 16 years ago on Stable Scoop. She was in like the first 2 or 3 episodes.
She's doing so well, though.
Well, let's mention it for those that haven't followed it. She's a former host also of the eventing radio show on Horse Radio Network. She took a bad spill in cross country at the American Eventing Championships in Lexington, Kentucky over the weekend. She had a head injury. Apparently, they took her in immediately for brain surgery. So she, on Tuesday, came off of the ventilator. She is able to move her parts, and she came off the ventilator. But can you read the update from Tuesday on her website? Because I want to talk about the middle part. Why don't you just read it for everybody?
Yeah, it says, today has been a very good day for Liz. She is officially off the ventilator and breathing on her own. Being off the ventilator means she is much more comfortable and now able to get the deep rest that she needs to heal and progress in her recovery. We also had a very special visitor at the hospital today. Erin Sudeikis, an emergency room nurse at the hospital, was jump judging at fence 1 when Liz fell. Erin immediately called ahead to the ER to alert the hospital staff to prepare an operating room. Her swift action allowed Liz... Oh,
I got goosebumps.
Feels teary. Her swift action allowed Liz to get into surgery quickly after being transported to the hospital. Thank you to Erin and all of the incredible doctors, nurses, and hospital staff who have been so attentive and ensuring Liz receives the best possible care. You are all our heroes.
So this woman, who just happened to be emergency room nurse at that hospital, was fence judging at where Liz fell. I mean, That's just incredible. And then she knew enough to call ahead. And, and believe me, the Kentucky hospitals, when they hear head injury from a horse riding accident, they know that it's what's coming in and they're ready for it. So, wow.
That's an incredible story.
Yeah. And so our best to Liz and all her connections. Know her for a long time. And we're thinking about her, and hopefully she continues to recover, and we'll be back. Look, we had the Australian, whose name I totally lost now, the Olympian, who broke every bone in his body for 6 weeks before he went to the Olympics. Liz will be back to the Olympics in no time. So we're thinking about you, Liz, and our best to you for a speedy recovery. Well, we have a couple of auditor birthdays, Aaron Grogan and Emily Wood, the old host of The Jumping Show and our good friend. Happy birthday to both of you. Also, a daily Whinnie has to go out to the United States Paralympic team, who did very well yesterday at the Olympics. And, I know everyone that we're going to talk about today because we've covered para pretty closely over the years, especially in WEG years and all of that. But Rebecca Hart and Fiona Howard kicked off the first day of para dressage with gold medals, individual gold medals. And their teammate Roxanne Trunnell followed those with a silver medal. Woo! And that quadrupled the U.S. Paris Games medal count for equestrian in just one day of competition.
Wow.
So Hart was the first to go, and she was in the grade 3. Para is graded by the level of your disability, basically. And she scored a 77.9 on Floratina, a 16-year-old Hanoverian mare. It's the first gold medal for Hart, even though she's been to the Paralympics 5 times. This is her 5th Paralympics, so good for her. And she's the one that works for Starbucks, and Starbucks has been promoting this on their website and on Facebook and has been so proud of her. So I'm really excited about that, too. In the grade 2 competition, Fiona Howard made her Olympic debut by winning aboard Diamond Dunes, an 11-year-old Hanoverian gelding, and then Roxanne Trunnell couldn't quite repeat her double individual gold medal from Tokyo, but she took the silver, and get this, Roxanne Trunnell now becomes the most decorated equestrian in U.S. Paralympic history.
Wow.
So good for all 3 of them. Now the competition continues with freestyle and some other things. I'm not exactly sure how it's set up, but we're going to have another Olympian para rider with us on Friday morning to kind of review everything with us. So congratulations to the whole team. You know what I was excited about, and I know you probably did too. I saw this posted everywhere yesterday.
Yeah, and I'm following the para games on Facebook, and they go live all the time, just on Facebook, do a Facebook Live constantly. It's just really, really great how encouraging it all is. It's so fantastic.
They sold 2 million spectator tickets. So
wow,
good for them. They said it's the biggest audience they've ever had for Paralympics. So good for all of them. And congratulations, United States.
USA! We're just full of happy, warm stories before we get to weird news. All right, so this one, 81
before all the
years
dead
old.
People in weird news.
I'm not doing those stories, you guys. Stop it. 81 years old. I know, by the way, just to weird news, I sometimes tell these stories to Chad to see his reaction and to see if he laughs or if he's like, ugh. And I told him that, one of them, and he was like, oh, God. And I was like, okay, not doing that one. All right. A happy story. 81 years old. Royson O'Rahili. I don't know how to say it. I'm sorry. She had some life goals at 81. She had a bucket list, and she had never competed at the USEA, which is the AECs, which is the American Eventing Championships. And she'd never competed at the Kentucky Horse Park. Well, this past weekend was the AECs at the horse park. You have to qualify for this. She qualified, and she freaking won. She won beginner, novice, master, amateur, because there's like a million divisions.
They added some new lower divisions this year, too, I think.
They did. They added a horse and country starter division, which is what I'm competing in this weekend. And so it's fantastic. And so they added a ton of divisions. I think that adding the starter division really helps out. People start to understand the sport, without having to really go up there and because beginner novice, that's 2.6 and you're jumping 2.6 cross country fences. I mean, on a young horse or an old horse, they can be a lot. So congratulations to Royson Rahili. She won the beginner novice master. That means you're over, I think it's 60 master amateur division on her dressage score of 26.6
which is really
times.
Good. That's a really good score.
A great score. And also our listener and friend Abby Foltz, she got national reserve champion for prelim rider at the AECs. Woo! Way to go, Abby. I competed in the AECs one time when it was in North Carolina and I lived in Georgia, and I qualified and competed, and I went with my Oldenburg Demure, and I don't know what happened. I mean, he always scored like 23s in dressage. Now, he couldn't jump for crap, but his dressage was amazing. And it was just, I don't know what happened. I just fell apart. Glenn. I was 75 riders and I think I finished 30th. Like, what happened? I was a disaster. It was so nerve-wracking. I don't know how you people have ice in your veins to compete like this. I'm like, it's just a beginner novice horse trial. And I just couldn't even, I think I got my wrong leads in the canter. Like, I don't know what happened. I had like 4 rails and show jumping. I probably went off course. I don't know. It was a mess. So you people that can go in there and compete with ice in your veins are just all my heroes. Way to go, everybody. Because I'm totally that girl at shows. And that reminds me, don't forget, Glenn, this coming weekend, it's a big weekend for the Horse Radio Network. Do you know why?
No.
Team HRN! Woo! So Feather Creek, which is a local eventing facility, is having one of these horse eventing experiences, but you don't have to do dressage. Like, this is amazing. You go run cross country and show jumping. I'm not sure if it's 2 different things or it's just all together, like show jumps on cross country. And Ace is doing his first. He's never even schooled cross country. So like, what could possibly go wrong? It'll be fine. And then Ace is my little 5-year-old off the track thoroughbred. And then Patty Otto, who lives down the street, she's competing her horse Victor. And she and I, we are a team. We're a team, and we named our team Team HRN. So
yeah, and I want to know, this was not sanctioned by this was not sanctioned by HRN or anybody at HRN except for you.
I love embarrassing you like this. Now, to be fair, Patty's amazingly difficult horse is unable to compete, so she's bringing out, she's dusting off the classics, blowing the dust off the records, okay, because she's bringing out Victor, her like super horse. So
good. So one of the two not be an embarrassment. Patty, please be the not embarrassment for the weekend.
God, yeah. So, but the cool thing is we are going to go school. I have a riding lesson on Saturday to go practice the course.
Oh, good.
So it won't be completely.
Yeah. Glad you're getting one practice in before.
I have no idea what's going to happen. I don't know. They got to have a handle on the front of my saddle, and I've got a really sticky saddle, and I'm wearing some sticky breeches, and Ace and I are going to go out there and just go for it.
2 helmets, please. 2 helmets.
Yeah. Well, did you see, by the way, that I posted a picture of Ace and I had to free jump him because he like lacerated his face where the noseband goes. And I love this bridle, and it has made such a difference in my riding with him, and it just sits right on him. So I'm like, oh crap. Well, I figured out how he did it this morning. I posted a video of him and Friday just playing the most aggressive game of bitey face. I mean, bitey face. Like, and they're bucking and kicking and running circles around. I'm looking at him. I'm like, oh my God, he's so fit. Like, he's like cantering 5 meter circles.
You need to put him out by himself for the next few days.
I tried that, but I put Friday out. I was like, Friday, you're staying over here. And Friday broke the gate down and went back out to the pasture. So thanks for that. I called Barrett. I was like, do you have your horse? He's not in the pasture anymore. Like he's gone. So, but they just constantly try to kill themselves. It's so frustrating. So frustrating.
So you said, about being nervous and being a wreck at the AECs the one time you went. And this is the same person that's teaching a riding clinic next week at their farm, right?
I know. I'm so excited. Well, last year during the Monty Roberts intro clinic that I did, 3 of our listeners came down, and one is from New York, one is from Indiana, and one is from Arizona, Janet, Angie, and Electra. And they wanted to have a little reunion. So they're actually bringing their horses to my house, and they're going to, come on, they want to have a riding clinic. They want to have a reunion. And if I'm being honest, it was a lot of fun. Just having them for the intro course. And I'll tell you why. Electra is a personal private chef for like celebrities. And so when she came down every night, we had like 5-star meals. And so she would employ Angie and Janet and I we were her like kitchen witches, and we would do all the work and she'd put it all together and it would just be amazing. She'd be like, you cut that, you do that, you do. We're like sous chefs, or whatever the second chef is. So we were all like doing all the prep work and she would cook it all and it was amazing. So she's going to be here for the whole week. So I am right now going to start fasting until she gets here because it's absolutely incredible. And there's lots of drinking and eating and lots of fun. And we will ride horses all day as well. So they've given me a list of things they want to learn. So I'm just like, all right, let's do it. Let's just knock it down one at a time. So it'll be fun.
Very cool. Well, we're gonna do some. I know everybody has seen these video shorts where people, and it's usually 2 or 3 people are together and they say words that are in different languages. Well, Jamie did that, the equestrian version with Anna, and we're going to talk about that in just a second. But right now, over at statelinetack.com, if you go there, they have a best sellers sale for Professional's Choice going on right now. I remember we sold Professional's Choice when it first started coming out, and now it's one of the most popular brands for boots and girths and tail wraps and saddle pads. I mean, you'll find almost everything you need for the horse's comfort with Professional's Choice. And they're available right now on sale over at statelinetack.com. I'm seeing the SMB boots, a 4-pack for $185, which is pretty good. The Overreach boots, which I used all the time, actually, on my first pony. They have those on there right now. Just a whole bunch of different products. The girths, I know Jennifer uses some of their girths. And they have the contoured girths as well. I remember they were one of the first to come out with the fleece contoured girths. And the tail wraps, you see all those all the time, but they have a bunch of different products. I mean, there's 3 pages of products here from Professional's Choice highlighted right now at statelinetack.com. Okay, so we're going to play this.
Let me just tell you, I posted a video it's on YouTube on Lucas Country on my son's page. He filmed it, edited it, put it all together, and it was just Anna and I going over words that are equestrian words that are in English versus German. And Glenn then he was like, you need to re-record it and send it to me because there's too much background noise. So we re-recorded it and I was like, oh, we could do a segment. And so I did all like 3 or 4 lessons and you just crammed them all together.
Well, they were pretty short. So it's like really short.
Well, I thought they were going too long because we were cackling in between. So I don't know if you left the long pauses of silence because we're laughing so hard, like in between it or not. I don't know if we edited those out, but just know we laugh the entire time we do this. Now, Anna is my foreign exchange student who's from Germany who's staying with us for the year. So there'll be plenty of these.
Okay, I'm here with Anna, and we are going to do our German versus English translations. First word, stirrup.
Steigbügel.
Then, girth.
Sattelgurt.
Well,
mounting block.
Aufstiegshilfe.
Serpentine.
Durch die ganze Bahn 3 Bögen.
What?
Stallion.
Hengst.
Hengst. Gelding.
Wallach.
And mare.
Stute.
Saddle pad.
Schabracke.
Hoofpick.
Hufauskratzer.
Cleaning out the hoof.
Hufe auskratzen.
That sounds very similar.
So is it me, or do they use a lot more letters and words to say the words?
Yeah, I mean, it's just amazing. Now, to be fair, like some of the words I'll be like, okay, like, what do you call like a round pin? She's like, we don't have round pins. I was like, yeah, but there's got to be a word for it. She goes, no, we don't have a word. Like there's none. And she was like, if we said it, it would be called round pin. I was like, okay. And like, so some of the words are very similar. And so I've been trying to find like words that are very different, but I mean, we can keep going, but you try to say these in your head. Like all I can hear is like Krankenwagen, which is the word for ambulance, like
you are right. It is kind of a harsh language. Any hate mail goes to Jennifer@horseradionetwork.com, but the serpentine, she had like 10 words.
I mean, I can't not cackle when I see that. So if you want to watch us doing it live, like, and the mounting block one, we tried to act out each one. So I climbed up on the mounting block and I said mounting block. And then she climbed up on the mounting block and said mounting block. But Homer just was like, not okay. Homer, my basset hound, was not okay with her being up there. And he just starts barking. And that just tickled us even more. Oh my God. It's so funny.
She is such a good sport to do these things with you.
She is an absolute delight. I just am so happy with her being here. It's just awesome.
Well, I'm so glad you got an outgoing one and not a super wallflower, because that would not have worked. So
you don't have a choice to be a wallflower at this house. Okay. Sorry.
So I got a message from one of our listeners today about a horse in Oklahoma that was for sale. That was perfect for Jennifer, and she said, you got to get Jamie to go look at it, but it sounds like you're already going to look at a bunch of horses. Oh,
Do
this
you know
would be,
where
you can
in
blame
Oklahoma that one is?
Let's see. Allison said, located in Wellston, Oklahoma. Well, she said it's an hour and 15 minutes from Jamie. So this is all Allison's fault. It's a Morgan Gate grade mare. Very sweet, easy to handle, low four figures to a good home. There you go. 11-year-old, which means 22 in Oklahoma to speak.
Grade means it's probably not really Morgan.
Right, fine. Exactly. It's some kind of hybrid something.
Did you have to translate Oklahoma, like really bad ads, and then take it one step further with Oklahoma really bad ads? Because remember, okay, at this point, I went to, I can't even remember the little town I went to where I actually bought the horse I let Anna name. We call him Ponza. His name is Famous Lil Runaway. He was a quarter horse that I picked up for my friend in Colorado. And so he's actually coming next week, by the way, to come pick up the horse to go back to the Maytag Ranch. And he was like, well, is it okay if I come? And I go, dude, just make sure you're here in time for dinner because Electra's cooking. Anyway, so then I went and looked at the horse in Spencer, Oklahoma, which now that I've gone to Spencer, Oklahoma, I've been informed by multiple people not to ever go to Spencer, Oklahoma.
Don't ever go back.
So don't do that. So now I got another message because I've got the Maytag Ranch is going to need another horse by spring. And I was like, if I could keep a horse here for Anna to ride all winter long, that would be fantastic because she's riding my Andalusian and I'd like him back. So I was like, I found this little paint horse in a town called Vanita, Oklahoma. And it's like 3.5 hours away. So I have requested multiple video. Like I have given them a list of videos because I won't drive unless I get the videos I want, because I'm sorry, like it's very easy to take a video and send it nowadays. It's not like you have to send a tape in the mail, So I'm not driving 7 hours round trip unless this thing is going to be awesome. And it's a little cute little, like it looks like Hidalgo. So I'm going to go, hopefully maybe I'll check him out on maybe tomorrow. Who knows? We have time. Whatever.
Well,
should be fun.
this is Wellsboro on the way?
Wellston. Let me Google Wellston.
Wellston. Wellston, Oklahoma. You can ride a very sweet, easy to handle, and low 4 figures Morgan grade mare. 14.3, which really means it's 13.3. It's like,
oof. Let's see. That's where Wellston is. So I need to. I don't really know where Veneta is either, so I got to map both.
Probably opposite directions. Oklahoma's a bigger state than you think.
Let's see. How do I get there?
Like Pennsylvania, it takes like 7 hours to drive across the state.
God, that's so far. It's in the northeast corner. Veneta is northeast corner of Oklahoma. I'm in the middle, but yeah, it's not
on the way.
I mean, it could be on the way if I.
It's already a 7-hour trip. That'll make it a 10-hour trip. All right. Well, we're gonna go to our first guest today. This guest is brought to you by Daily Dose Equine, non-GMO core nutrition for horses and ponies of all ages. We have Alexandra Beckstett coming on to talk about one of our sister companies here at Equine Network. We talked about it when it started. It's MyNewHorse.com, and it's the 1-year anniversary of MyNewHorse. Plus, apparently, they have something special going on that you guys can participate in. Well, hey, Alexandra, thanks for joining us this morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me again.
So, MyNewHorse.com. I can't believe it's been a year already. Time is flying by. It's just...
I know. I can't believe that we dreamt up this project a year ago, and now it's like a full-fledged thing.
I know. And the website's looking great. I was over there this morning taking a look at it. But tell us what's new since we talked to you last.
Well, over the past year, we've done a lot. We've now got hundreds of articles and videos and resources on the website. We've gained 28,000 Facebook followers, which I feel like in a year is pretty decent.
Yeah.
So it's been fun to engage with all these new horse owners, non-horse owners, horse lovers. We've also formed some partnerships with some industry organizations like the United Horse Coalition, Retired Racehorse Project, Arabian Horse Association. So it's been fun to partner with some of those organizations. And we're doing a lot more video. We've got a lot more video coming up. In fact, in a couple of days, we're going to launch a video series about how you can prepare for the costs and responsibilities of horse ownership.
So it's going to tell me how to get a better job with double the pay?
Right. It's going to tell you can't afford horses.
Right, exactly. The video could be very short, 30 seconds. You just can't afford to do this. Don't bother.
No, it's just something that we could do. I mean, horses are such a huge commitment. Anything we can do to help owners take the best possible care of their horses without going completely broke, well, we're going to try to do it.
Yeah, good. So. We need to watch this one, Jamie. It's like...
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Okay.
But yeah. To celebrate our 1-year anniversary, just today we have launched a really cool contest, a really cool giveaway, just to celebrate everything that we've done. And one lucky winner is going to win a super cool prize pack. It includes a commissioned framed oil painting of the winner's horse by artist Larissa Ann.
I think we had her on the show years ago.
Maybe she's done a lot of really cool artwork. I mean, I know people from all over North America collect her work and commission her paintings. But yeah, she's an equestrian and landscape artist. So yeah, how cool is that to get a commissioned painting of your own horse?
I love that. And it includes other stuff too, right?
Yeah, we've got one of our partners, WF Young, is providing an absorbing package that includes their full line of silver honey products, show sheen, fly spray, hoof flex. And then Sentinel Feeds is also supplying a goodie bucket with an ear bonnet, free bags of feed. I mean, it's just a super cool way to celebrate our 1-year anniversary. And to enter, the easiest way would be to go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/MyNewHorse. And then you can click the link, find the link and the info, and enter to win.
I'm there right now. And you know what? New horse person doesn't need feed, show sheen, at all the things that are on here. I think that's perfect. And I just clicked on it. It looks like it's very easy. Just fill out the form and send it in.
Yeah, super easy.
Do you have to be 18?
By the way, I'm looking at larissaann.com. Oh my God.
Yeah,
these
she
paintings.
says cool
She
stuff.
is such a talent. Wow.
She's amazing.
That's incredible.
And she's based near Southern Pines, North Carolina. And her story, I mean, you said you probably had her on in the past, but she has such a cool story. She just wrapped up her military career, which took her all over the world. But she's been fostering her incredible artistic talent in that time, and she's really built up a really great catalog of equestrian themed and other pieces of art.
So do you have to be in the United States, or can Canadians play too?
Sadly, we can only ship the prize package to the United States. So
Okay.
you have to be 18 years or older, and you have to be a resident of the United States.
All right.
Sorry, Canada.
Sorry, Canadians. Send your hate mail to Jennifer@horseradionetwork.com. So, all right. Well, thank you so much for joining us again. If you haven't checked it out yet, check out MyNewHorse.com. It is a really cool website. If you have somebody that you know that says, I want to get a horse, and you don't want to have to explain everything to them, just send them here. That's the easiest way to do it. And then you won't have to be explaining everything. And you said the new video series is coming out on budgeting here very soon?
Yeah, we're going to launch that tomorrow.
Okay.
It's going to be very exciting. It's a 6-part budgeting series.
Sounds good. Well, thank you for joining us. Appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, Glenn.
Non-GMO whole food nutrition is the basis of the entire Daily Dose Equine program. We never forget that natural is better and simplicity is key. Daily Dose Equine uses non-GMO whole food ingredients like alfalfa, timothy, peas, sunflower seeds, and flax. Daily Dose Equine doesn't use fillers, bulking agents, or leftovers from other industries, so you can feed less yet improve body condition and energy. And our feeds are free from chemical residues and glyphosate. Find the perfect formulation for your horse at dailydoseequine.com. Select Daily Dose Equine formulations are available nationwide through Chewy.com and TractorSupply.com.
Recharge your training program with Equestrian Plus. Equestrian Plus brings together top riders, trainers, and professionals onto one video platform. Watch over 5,000 how-to training videos, clinic and event footage, exclusive training sessions, and more featuring top experts including 5-time dressage Olympian Stefan Peters, 5-time Olympic show jumper Ann Krasinski, Olympic eventer and silver medalist William Fox Pitt, and more. Join Equestrian Plus now and use promo code HRN15 for 15% off your first month. Visit EquestrianPlusPLUS.com to subscribe.
Well, before we get to weird news, I thought we'd do some horsey news. One is the FEI is convening a panel in the wake of all of the Charlotte Desjardins and Cesar Para and the Helkstrand controversies that have all been around the dressage world. They're getting a panel together that's going to consist of athletes, officials, veterinarians, and other representatives to discuss what to do about the dressage problem. And the FEI did announce that this is a problem. And they were really concentrating on hoping the Olympics went well, which it did. It did really go well for the horse world. But now they said their goal is to collaborate closely with all their stakeholders to address the challenges facing dressage. They said, while many in our community recognize the urgency of the situation, others may not fully grasp the critical juncture at which equestrian sport currently stands. For FEI to say that means there's a lot going on behind the scenes that we're not hearing about.
And they did, to me, says they finally recognize that this is not a small deal.
I think they're getting pressure to recognize that it's not a small deal. It's what's going on. What bothers me about this is specific. They're going to have meetings after meetings and appoint committees, and in a year maybe something will happen because that's the way government works. But what bothers me about this is, why are they limiting it to just dressage? As we talked about before, every discipline has its issues.
And I'm not kidding you. There are so many other disciplines that are just so brutal. I mean, there's some Western sports that are just...
the problem with the Western sports is the FEI doesn't have
I know
jurisdiction
it's
over
like,
them.
we're just out parading for the world to see all of these terrible things. And I mean, but here's the thing is I watch these training videos on, like Facebook Reels, they pop up and I see horribly abusive stuff that people are coaching. Do this,
Yep.
do this. And I'm like, how are the FEI like at the grandest world stage in the Olympics getting this kind of shakedown? And like, this is publicly being posted online for people to see and encouraging others to behave like that.
Yeah, but I guess it's because people don't care unless it's Charlotte Desjardins, right? They just don't. And how do you fix it? Well, I will give the FEI credit for this. You got to recognize it, which I think they are doing, and they are taking steps to quote unquote do something. We'll see what happens. The problem comes back to what's the problem always come back to, Jamie? Money. It always comes back to money. It's just it's a money thing all the way around. And, I read a lot of the comments. This was posted on the Chronicle and on their Facebook page, which is always good for comments. So I read a lot of the comments, and a lot of them were what I said, why are we not looking at all this other stuff? Well, the FEI only has jurisdiction over so many sports. But, and a lot of the comments, also were, it's going to be hard for them to be aggressive because they also revolve around money and all their disciplines revolve around money. It's the same reason the government, it's any government, and the FEI is a government, has the same issue.
Well, money's not going to matter after a while.
Well, because we won't be allowed to do it, right? I mean, that's what'll happen. And that, we've talked about this for 14 years now. So hopefully something happens. They're going to, at least they've recognized it and they're going to be dealing with doing something. They're going to have to do something. So we'll see what happens out of it. Also, we said that we would, as more information came out, we would talk a little bit more about the poor rodeo horses. Now it's up to 70. Apparently, the Livestock Nutrition Center, which provided the feed, did confirm that it contained, is it monensin? Is that how you say it? Monensin, which is a highly, obviously, deadly additive for horses. They're saying that it was either the vats weren't cleaned well enough, and that some sensors didn't work. So they're admitting to the problem. They're admitting they had the problem. Apparently, only this one place, the rodeo place, got the feed. It didn't go out to anybody else. Obviously, Rhett Butler, the owner of the company, said shortly after feeding the animals, he said he could tell something wasn't right, and apparently they just began falling over. That's how quick it was.
If you start to see symptoms of monensin poisoning, it's already too late. They can't be saved.
I mean, how horrible was this for him? Just horrible.
It's just as tragic and horrible and terrible and just awful. And I mean, this is not monensin is not a new problem in feed, but it has never been this huge, this huge.
Who do they feed it to? Is it for cattle?
So monensin is a additive that goes, it's like an antibiotic or something that goes in chicken feed and cattle feed. And I'm assuming it creates, a bigger meat, whatever for people that eat meat. And so it is 100% completely toxic to horses. I think like a picogram of it gets in there and they die. And so it's so dangerous to buy feed that comes from a place that also on the same lines produces chicken feed and cattle feed, because it's a very common ingredient in those feeds. And it just scares me half to death. And that is why I'm sorry, there's a local feed company not too far from here and they make their own feed. And I can't do it. I just can't do it.
And, this is hit, by the way, New York Times had this article, and I mean, everybody's covered this now.
This is like generations of bucking horses, and bucking horses are treated like royalty.
Oh, and they go for big horses, bucks.
Big bucks, big money. And it's an actual thing now where people get bucking horses that have failed and retrain them to ride. I mean, it's almost like an off the track thoroughbred kind of deal where people, it's an old bucking horse, and they have crazy brands and they make them ranch horses because they're big and they're tough and they can take the job. And this is a generational place that has been breeding these prize bucking horses for generations, and it's all gone. And you know what's really cool is I read that a lot of the local, like other bucking horse companies, have been giving them horses to continue their business. Like the whole community is together.
Horse that made it, and the one horse that made it was at the vets that day.
Yeah, it wasn't actually at the farm, so it didn't eat any of the feed.
Well, and you know what? In the articles I've been reading, a lot of the nutritionists say that, you know, buy your feed. Don't buy from local places. You hate to say that, but don't buy from local places. Buy from the Purinas and the others like that, you know, they don't have this problem because they have separate lines. They're not doing things in the same lines. We used to buy from the local feed store, the one-off feed store when we lived in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, but they might not have put all these crappy additives into your livestock,
or they may have, you know, they may have been doing it, and just nothing ever happened, right? So they were careful about it.
It just takes one mistake. One guy on a Friday afternoon wants to get out of there and like doesn't do his job properly, or some lady is, you know, I'm not saying it's all men, but some girls like, I'm getting out of here. It'll be fine, you know. And then this happens. I mean, it's just,
or they didn't wash it down well enough, or who knows?
Yeah,
you know?
That's what I'm saying. Like, oh, we need to do it 3 times, and I'm only do it 2 because I really want to get home. There's too many avenues for mistakes.
And you know,
too many.
But if you feed one of the mainstream name feeds, you're probably not going to have this problem. You know, this is going to be
I mean, and you know, Purina has been a sponsor for forever, and I believe their equine line is separate from their
completely
canine
separate.
line. Even.
That's the way they do that. Yep. And they're big enough to do that, right? So that's why they do. But I know that there's probably some of our listeners that buy from the local feed store, but boy, this probably woke everybody up for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Anyway, so that's the news I have. I'm happy it wasn't bad. Oh, we ended up talking about dead horses anyway, and we haven't even gotten to weird news.
Oh my gosh. Let's see. I'm not doing the dead people stories. So all of you, I'll start with a funny animal story.
All right, let me do this to give us a buffer.
Time to learn why some days you're embarrassed to be part of the human race. In Jamie's Weird News.
That's right. If you're ever reading the news and you're like, dude, that is a weird story, just email it to me, jamie@horseradionetwork.com. Glenn, do you have weird news at horseradionetwork.com up yet? Because I can't.
I do not. I'm sorry.
Many emails. I love it. Keep sending them. We may change the email address eventually, but Glenn would, get to work. But yeah, so I would like to thank Delia, Laureen, Shelly, Erin, Claire, and Janelle. Janelle got in at on the wire, and her story was too dark. I can't do that one. But we're going to start with a funny animal story. And it is from a Facebook post from the Wilson Creek National Battlefield. This is, I'm assuming, in Missouri, because the Missouri Department of Conservation was called out to the battlefield because they found an injured eagle. And it was an eagle, and Glenn, it couldn't fly. So the Missouri Department of Conservation had to capture it, which was no easy feat, right? I mean, how do you catch an eagle? Well, it couldn't fly. So it was like running. They had to net it. They had to do all this stuff to capture this eagle. And they take it, they get it in the crate, they take it in, and they're like, oh, I can't fly. Must have a broken wing. And so they x-ray the wing, they stretch out the wing, and there's nothing wrong with the wing. And no, the x-ray is of the whole bird, even with the wings stuck out. So they start to notice something in the eagle, in the x-ray. Inside this eagle was an entire raccoon.
Oh my God.
It had eaten an entire raccoon, and
how do you get that down?
I mean, it was like they found that's an arm of a raccoon. There's the spine. It ate the whole damn thing, Glenn. And the bird could not fly because it was too full.
It was too fat.
It was not hurt. It was just full. Poor thing's it can't fly. You guys, get over here. We need to help it. No, I'm just I've got.
It was just digesting. Oh my God.
I don't think we're going to Florida today. But
really?
Next best thing. Yeah.
That's a first.
Yeah, I don't think so. We're gonna hover around it let's go to Georgia, shall we? There's a town called Thompson, Georgia, and it is about 20 minutes from Augusta on the eastern side of the state, like heading up towards South Carolina. Well, they have a jail there, prison, and the inmates get to go work, improving the landscape, picking up trash on the side of the road, and I'm going to take a little liberty with this one, okay? Because they reported it as very strict reporting, but I'm going to let you kind of know probably what really happened, okay? So there is a line of inmates on the side of the road, and there's a guard with them on both sides, and they've got their guns, and they start to see these guys picking up trash, and they start to notice that they're not normal. Well, it turns out the inmates, while picking up trash, found bottles of gin, full bottles of gin in a ditch along Georgia 150 in Thompson.
Of course.
So the inmates were drinking the gin.
It would make it better if it was moonshine. You know that, right? In mason jars.
How do you think that full bottles of gin got there, Glenn?
I don't know.
Well, let's go ahead and let you know how it got there. Because arrested shortly thereafter was Thompson Mayor Benjamin Carey Cranford was indicted on Wednesday and arrested by the GBI for placing full bottles of gin in the ditch.
You put them there intentionally?
Drink, yes. Yes.
Was his brother on the...
The mayor got arrested for putting full bottles of gin in the ditch for all the boys that are out working on the line. And obviously the mayor can find out, gin is not going to cool you down. Oh my God. Yeah. So
this is the best day they've had in a long time.
Yeah. They basically found that he went to Cranford, drove to the store on June 3rd, bought some bottles of Seagram's extra dry gin and left it along in the ditch. I don't know how they found out, but that's a pretty baller move. But he basically was like, hey, where are the inmates going to be? And he went ahead. Why would you do that?
It had to be his brother was in the detail.
Oh my God. That is
and why gin? Why not some whiskey or,
Yeah, I don't know. He's been arrested and now could potentially face suspension from office until the charge is over. Can he pardon himself? I don't know. But yeah,
is he going to go to jail? Please tell me he's going to go to jail and be on a work detail.
Oh my God, wouldn't that be fantastic?
It won't happen. But
I don't know what he got out of that.
I don't either.
All right. Well, this is just a public service announcement because in Oxford, Mississippi, it's a college town. It's a University of Mississippi is in Oxford, and the police department this is a quick one. Police department posted photos on social media. There was a big accident. And apparently after they posted the pictures on social media of the accident and the cleanup that would then ensue, they then had to post another tweet, which is, do not come help clean up. Stop it. Go home. Apparently a beer truck overturned and there is Bud Light, Modelo, I can see Busch Light, all of this beer all over the road, in cases, in the cans. And apparently after they posted this, all the college students ran out there to help clean up. So unfortunately, no, they don't need your help anymore. And our final story of the day, we're going to go to Philadelphia. Glenn, have you ever been in a bike? I know you like to ride your bike. Have you ever been in a bike race?
No. Never that good at riding my bike. No.
Not even just like a charity ride, just a ride on your bike to promote, something. Well, I found the one for you. It's in Philadelphia and it takes place in August. It used to take place in September, but it was noted that the temperatures in Philadelphia were too cold in September, so they had to push it back to September. This annual ride has been going on since 2009. And it promotes cycling as a key form of transportation, fuel-conscious consumption, and it encourages body positivity. What is the ride? It is the 15th annual Philly Naked Bike Ride. Glenn, you can go. You can be naked. You can celebrate. Yes, it is it's a 12-mile ride down Benjamin Franklin Parkway past historic City Hall to Rittenhouse Square and then into South Philly before heading back to the U.S. Mint and ending up at a park near Drexel University. Now, you want to go? You don't have to be naked, but they say you can get as bare as you dare. Also, you don't have to ride a bike. All form of human-powered transportation is welcome, such as rollerblades, skates, and skateboards, and even scooters. And also, you have to behave yourself. There's no allowance of sexual harassment. But this is like apparently just a giant naked bike ride. And all I could think of how uncomfortable that is for like men especially. Good Lord.
They do these all over the country. This is not, I'm so shocked they do it in Philadelphia. Philadelphia fans at sporting events are so nasty. Can you imagine the things thrown at the bike riders?
Yeah, I just thought it was so funny. It says the ride used to be held in September, often in temperatures around 70 degrees Fahrenheit. But enough of the naked riders mentioned feeling chilly that it was moved to August.
Not to mention, how uncomfortable without clothes some of the seats would be. Just saying.
That's what I'm saying. Like, and then like if you're like, say you're rollerblading and there's some dude who's like standing up in the like driving, trying to pass you, and then all you see is butthole. Like, oh, come on, put some clothes on. As bare as you dare, Glenn. You don't have to be naked.
Now, why is that legal, by the way?
I don't know. But
what if you walk down the street naked? You're going to get arrested.
Do you want to hear? One time I was in Key West when my brother lived there when I was in my 20s. And he lived in Key West, and there's this place called Atlantic Shores. Have you ever heard of Atlantic Shores? Well, it's a private pool, and it's on the deck, and there's like a bar, and so everybody was like, you have to go to Atlantic Shores. Like, it's such a cool pool. And I'm like, it's a pool. Like, who cares? Pool with the bar. No. You have to go to Atlantic Shores. So my girlfriend and I show up to Atlantic Shores, and you have to show ID to get into Atlantic Shores. I'm like, cool, no problem. Show the ID, walk in, and it is a pool with probably about 300 people surrounding it, completely naked.
And they didn't tell you that ahead of time. They set you up.
That I was going to a naked pool. So I'm like already in. I had to pay like a $15 cover to get into this thing. And I was already broke. So I'm like, well, I'm going to see if I can, hang out. So I go in and I'm laying down and I'm sunning and, like you do stupid stuff like that when you're in your 20s, and I'm laying out. And this guy comes over to me completely naked. And I'm laying down and I look up and he's like, excuse me. And I look up and it is a naked man right in front of me, and he looks down at me, and I had my eyes closed, right? So I was like, oh, the sun, like, it's bright. Oh, that's a wiener, like, oh God. And I look up at him and he goes, excuse me, you do know that this is a clothing optional pool? And I was like, I do, and I've opted to keep my clothes on.
Yeah, didn't say clothing mandatory.
No, it says bare as you dare, Glenn. Thank you.
How long did you hang out, by the way? Oh,
I don't know.
That's a bad pun. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have.
I think I went ahead and moved in. I just stayed there for days. Spent the rest of my trip there.
Is that the last one, hopefully?
That's it. It's over.
Auditors, hang on. We're going to do a post show for you. We're going to find out what Jamie's been doing wrong about buying from online auctions from an article I found.
Oh, nice.
And, the article missed one very important thing, and we're going to find out what that is in the post show. So hang on, auditors. And thank you to all the auditors, too, that have been asking for help putting stuff together for Poop Week next week, and they've been coming through. So thank you to all of them, especially the foreign speakers have helped us out.
I would like to let everybody know that Poop Week was definitely not my idea. Just throwing that out there.
And it's going to be so popular, you're going to be claiming it by the time the week is done. You watch. I'm telling you. You forgot to say it.